We just checked out all of Lenovo's announcements from MWC, normally a smartphone, mobile focus show, but Lenovo always brings some laptops and interesting concepts, and we checked out quite a few this time around. Which one was your favorite?
I like the ThinkBook modular laptop concept. A dual display laptop that actually I felt worked pretty well. That's something I might actually use.
Yeah, sort of a hybrid of a bunch of different things we've seen. Asus's Duo device with the 2 screens,
Right.
as well as a couple of the Lenovo Concepts we've seen in the past. 2 displays, one of them sits on the back of the screen, or the back of the other screen rather, and you can pull the keyboard out. It's a little confusing to visualize, but it really is interesting and has a lot of different use cases.
Yeah, the second display, it sits on the lid of the laptop. You open it up and it faces out. It's connected with these little pogo pin connectors that are great for that type of
Magic
thing.
Bay technology.
Yeah, it's like an extension of Lenovo's Magic Bay. Easy to remove. Actually, you can also remove the keyboard and then put the other display where the keyboard was, and you have 2 displays like that. And type in on the wireless keyboard.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I think that the screen, when it's on the back of the lid, doesn't have too much functionality. I mean, you could present and show someone sitting across from you, right? Like what's on your screen, or mirror your display, or whatever you want to do with that. Right. The real functionality is kind of taking it off, which is really easy with these pogos. It kind of slides right off, and snapping it back on is really satisfying.
Very satisfying.
So the same connection takes it off the back of the screen.
Yeah.
Pull the keyboard out, you plop that screen in really easily, satisfying, and then you have a wireless Bluetooth keyboard.
What is not wireless is the second display. So if you want to use it in like regular laptop mode, take that second display from the top off, put it on the side with this little kickstand that's integrated in the bottom of the laptop. You have to use this kind of USB-C to pogo connector to connect the second display. So you got a little bit of a mess there. Not a mess, but it's not
the most elegant part of the design.
It's not as clean as if it was completely wireless, but still you get a second display when you need it. What I thought was really cool is that it's all of this and it's still about a 3-pound laptop.
Yeah, pretty light and portable considering what's going on. The screen itself, when you pull it off, weighs like nothing.
Yeah, I thought it was cardboard. I thought it was like a concept. I'm like, this actually powers on. They're like, oh yeah, that's what it's going to be.
It was pretty impressive. I think some of the more concepts, prototype stuff that has to be worked out. That kickstand's a little flimsy. It's kind of cool. It's built sort of into the foot of the laptop on the bottom. You have to kind of pivot it out, but it's this small little stick, and it magnets onto specific points that aren't really marked at all.
Yeah.
On the back of the laptop, you kind of just have
to
know where they are.
Yeah,
right?
they should aim for the L on the Lenovo brand on the back.
Yeah,
that's where you pop it up.
But not covering the Lenovo logo. You would never want to.
Please don't do that.
So that's probably something that would become more clear in a real product, perhaps. But again, it is a concept.
Yeah, and they said they were actually working on, if this comes to be a final product, shipping product, they would strengthen that kickstand a little bit and maybe put a little rubber nub on the bottom. Like we were using it on like a surface like this.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of sliding a bit.
Yeah, and it really, since it's just a magnet, it is really thin. You can, if you slide it back, like our photographer would take a picture and slip it back, it fell right away. So some work to do on that, but as a concept, which it is, you totally get the appeal right away. One more aspect to it as well, very framework style ports and connectivity. You can swap out the ports.
Yeah, and you get the little AirPod carrying case.
Yes, very AirPod-esque. You can slip these little cards in there. They're pretty small. They might even be a little smaller than the framework cards, but yeah, that way you can swap between, the sides of my laptop need to have USB-A or USB-C or HDMI, whatever it is. They kind of just slot right in and out pretty easily.
Yeah, that was pretty slick.
A lot of versatility in that one. Probably our favorite of the group.
Yeah. Then we saw a 3D laptop concept. Dual screen, larger than the ThinkBook. The bottom screen was 2D. The top screen was 3D. Yep. And you could like kind of slide up.
Shoot your asset up to the top to turn it into 3D.
Yeah,
right?
they would model it for a few seconds, and then the laptop was pretty cool. I'm not a 3D modeler, so it was fun to use some gestures where you could use your fist and kind of twist it on its axis with your 3D model, or pinch to zoom in and out. But the coolest part I thought was this little snap-on tool.
These little plastic accessories that there's just a circle or a narrower sort of oval design, and they look like nothing. They're plastic, but they interface with the lower screen, and as long as the right software's up, you kind of drop those on the bottom screen, and you pull it away, and it leaves it could, for instance, one was like a color gradation, sliders you could change. Yeah. One was a wheel for like changing the angle of the lighting that was coming in. So those are pretty neat, and you kind of just like delete them or you pop it down where you want it on the screen. And I've never really seen anything like that. So it definitely is a creator's laptop. This is for developers, 3D developers. I haven't seen a 3D laptop in a while. That was kind of a trend from a while ago. So.
Right. Yeah, and you don't need glasses for it.
Glasses free 3D.
But you do have to be right on axis.
Yeah, having to present to a group, everyone's kind of looking at a blurry sort of image, and it's really meant for the sweet spot. But to that end, it does have a kickstand in the back to give you a little bit of a prop up, so you can get it more like eye height. So that worked pretty well. So yeah, pretty cool overall. You got to keep track of those accessories, including the same thing for the last concept. They give you a little carrying case at least, which is more than you get with the framework.
Yeah, it's almost like a little like makeup like little, what are they called?
Chiclets. Yeah. I'm picturing picturing a little bag that comes with Scrabble for the tiles. Just kind of drop all these things in there, zip it up, throw it in your bag. It is a lot of loose parts, but creators are used to keeping extra dongles and SD cards and things in their possession. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, the thing about Concepts is you're going to take some wild swings. Some you're going to make contact with. Might even hit a home run. And I thought the Legion, they had a Legion Go fold handheld concept. When it's folded down, it looks like a normal kind of Switch style screen with there's a snap-on controllers on each side. But then you can unfold the screen and it's much larger. Then you can snap off the controllers and snap them on the other side, and you have a larger screen. They were trying to say that some games we're going to play in portrait mode.
I can't think of many games that would.
I thought of Tetris, and
be
then
optimized for that. Yeah,
and that was it.
Even then, it might run with weird borders. I don't know if that resolution is like that well supported. I sort of get the idea. I think because they have their Legion Go like handheld, which had the removable controllers.
Yeah.
Not every version of it, I think, has the detachable controllers, but most of them do. The first one did, and they kind of applied that to a tablet, but it's a little. I mean, it was a prototype again, so final build quality and all. Disclaimer, but just conceptually, the controllers, it's awkward to hold a screen that wide or tall with like kind of flimsy side controllers. And then on top of it, it's like, what are we really playing? The landscape mode's a little wide, which is I think why you would put it in portrait and then fold it down. You get a more like 7-inch screen, a little more reasonable.
They did have a little module that you could snap the controllers and have like a external controller,
like the
and then like
Switch
prop up the panel, but then then I think, well, this display's a little too small for that kind of thing.
Right, yeah. There's other devices for that sort of thing.
Like a laptop?
Yeah, like a laptop. Not to mention the power inside. If you're getting a relatively thin tablet, I mean, the handhelds are one thing, powering gaming on a handheld-shaped Steam Deck, Lenovo Go style Switch-sized device is one thing. Getting into this thin tablet, it was only running I think it was a Lunar Lake chip. It was like a 258V Core Ultra 7. So like,
yeah, not even an H, not even the higher.
Not getting a lot of graphics.
Panther Lake.
Not a Panther Lake, so you're not getting that like really boosted integrated graphics performance. So the sort of folio stand it came with was really hard to figure out.
So many folds to it.
Yeah. It wasn't that sturdy. There was like, the Lenovo rep to come over and like fold it the right way, and even then it kind of fell. So it definitely could use some work. That's not exclusive to that. I think a lot of these 2-in-1s that don't have the built-in kickstand like the Microsoft Surface does.
Yeah.
It's like they rely on these folio.
You had to get the triangle just right behind it to prop it up.
Always a little awkward.
Yeah.
So that was maybe the least successful concept. I still kind of got the point, but I think that one maybe has a longer road to refine and enhance.
They got to keep tweaking that one.
Yeah. There were also some concepts that weren't quite ready to show us in this preview that will be shown at MWC, so that's not all of what Lenovo has to show. Yeah, Lenovo always bringing more experimentation than we see from a lot of the big PC manufacturers. They kind of always have a concept or three every time we see them.
It's always fun to see what Lenovo's cooking up.
Yeah, and it's always, they seem to be obsessed with displays. It's always a rolling, folding, widening, all types of second screens. Like
second screen here, 2 second screens. I guess that's a second and a third screen. Mm-hmm. They're always toying with, rollables, sideways rollable up. What else we got?
What else can you roll? The wrap around the screen one that extended, the screen would roll behind and the hinges would pull it down.
Right.
There's the one that rolls under the keyboard. And then at CES we saw the concept with the Lenovo Legion that got wider to give you like that widescreen gaming experience. Again, a prototype, had some work to its work cut out to actually make that a little more refined, but they're always concepting.
Yeah, like last year they had some Magic Bay extra displays, but they were kind of on these arms that swung out that a little heavier than you might want.
Yeah.
Again, I want not much more than a 3-pound laptop if I'm going to be using it every day. That's why I thought the ThinkBook was so cool.
Think of a little more elegant version of that idea, right?
They got rid of the arm that like Magic Bay's on and holds this extra display on the side, and now it's just the display itself that attaches on, not with an arm.
Throw it across the room if you wanted to.
Could be
like Frisbee with that thing.
Rectangular Frisbee.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't all just concepts. We saw some updates to their ThinkPad and Yoga lines. For the T series, they showed us it was a little bit of a takeoff of the that space frame we saw at CES on the X1 Carbon. Wasn't nearly as modular as that, but you open it up and the battery can be removed. Toolless now, it's just these 2 tabs it pops out. So I mean that's one of the first things that goes in a laptop, so to extend the life of your laptop. So that was cool. Yeah,
it was pretty neat. Otherwise, there was a bunch of iterative updates. There was one, I think that comes in blue, I believe. Also, we should backtrack and make sure, because I didn't notice until they moved it closer.
Very, very dark blue.
Yeah, it is. It's a little better. It kind of catches the light, and you're like, oh yeah, it's kind of a navy-ish looking.
Yeah, they said our business, customers don't want to walk in with like a fuchsia laptop.
understandable, but it is a little more stylish, a little more
Yeah.
sleek. But it is not that far off from the traditional black
No.
paint job.
The deepest navy.
Yes, the deepest of all navies. So those are the highlights from our preview meeting. I think there are a number of interesting concepts and some actual retail laptops for you as well. We will be at MWC. Well, we won't be at MWC, but both brands will be at MWC covering all of the latest tech, the concepts we couldn't see at the brief, and a ton of mobile and smartphone news for you as well. So check back to PCMag.com and CNET for all of the coverage.